Hey there, EliteLenny here with a message. First off, I want to thank you for grabbing the time to take a look at this. Like the video and subscribe to my channel to support me and help me make more content. I'm looking to have my channel grow too, so please go ahead and check out my Patreon and PayPal links at the description box. It'll be awesome if you become a patron, considering the trouble to getting content published these days. Though if you wish to, you can donate to help a guy out in this messy atmosphere of ours. Don't forget to also check out my streaming page on Twitch, where I showcase mostly gaming streams, though I may also put some chat streams in the equation. Without further ado, let's get to it, and let's have a good one. EliteLenny reporting for duty here, and definitely I do need to talk about this, considering that even if this was an issue from years ago because it involved mobile games, if it's moving into bigger platforms like consoles, for example, like if you've actually noticed on how things actually worked when, well, Gran Turismo 7, there's this one game, that very one game in which it didn't have microtransactions as blatant as the one in Gran Turismo 7, in the incident, I call it an incident, but Sony is brushing it off because updates have been put out to try to fix the economy of Gran Turismo 7, in which the rewards will have better payout. The rewards are better payouts in races. I haven't actually owned the game, of course, because I don't actually own the PS5. Definitely, I don't have the right to judge them. But this definitely stems from the problems with microtransactions still apply even until today. Definitely apply until today. Why? It's simply because I am saying this from some experience, because it's from a completely different perspective, but I used to play mobile games that have microtransactions in them, and when I spend cash, it feels like a rush, but there is an addictive portion in this type of behavior. So fine, it starts in mobile games, it seems to be light, of course, but if you blatantly spend, and you spend without limits, you definitely are looking for something that, well, it will ruin you. It will simply ruin you. And when it gets to consoles, it will usually be, well, it could end up worse. Heck, it actually happened in, well, loot boxes, that's one thing. Microtransactions in consoles and PC happened in loot boxes, happened in gacha pulls, happened everywhere that actually involves spending real-time cash. Definitely a bad thing. I'm actually going to keep reminding myself of not spending a single penny in microtransactions ever again, just because you think it will get you an edge over other players of a game, other players of an app or a game or something like that. I'm not even the competitive type to begin with either. So I laid off myself from actually going through microtransactions at all. So I have to keep reminding myself to tell others to stop going into these kinds of apps or games just to try to prove a point that you're actually better than the rest. I mean, fine, the cosmetics work, but every other game that has free-to-play mechanics and that has other mechanics in which you have to buy through cash to get over the edge of others, those types of things, definite no-nos. So I have a video here from okay, I don't know which free-to-play game this is, but kid spent over $40,000. This is a story in which Rich from Review Tech USA had published in 2014. I'm not sure what kind of free-to-play game this is, but I thought I should share it to you guys. Definitely you should see it. Anyway, here it is.
This video was brought to you by Dollar Shave Club in the description. Skip it up and that up. What's going on, people? Rich, Review Tech USA, and just wanted to let you know, first and foremost, you are looking at footage captured from a PlayStation 4. This is Wolfenstein: The New Order. Yes, I have it for the PlayStation 4 as well as the PC, and this is being captured with the Elgato HD 60. Now, unfortunately, YouTube has not yet rolled out 60 frames per second video option natively. I know there's a handful of videos they have up, like 2 or 3, that actually are 60 frames per second, but it's not official yet. There's a funky way you could do it with the playing at 2 times speed, and you have to do really strange rendering settings when you make the video in Sony Vegas, but whatever. At least you could see the video quality of the capture card. And so far, at least when it comes to capturing straight up gameplay, haven't tried any of the streaming features of the HD60 yet, but as a capture card, it's pretty damn impressive. But I've heard some mixed things about the like Twitch streaming and what have you, so we'll wait and see on that. But as a capture card,
well, things have changed pretty much back then, ever since that YouTube actually put up the HD60. Things were completely different back then, but after YouTube actually did that, YouTube had become more impressive when it comes to the visuals. Pretty much, yeah. I can actually give them credit for this one.
I'm digging it so far. The video quality is excellent. So anyway, on to today's gaming news, and this one is a damn doozy to start off October with. A 15-year-old Belgium kid spends 37,000 euros on gold, virtual gold, in a free-to-play game.
Oh boy, Europeans. I see. Okay.
You know how much that equates to in American dollars? $46,381.90. That's more than some people make in a year. The kid was reportedly buying in-game gold via his grandfather's credit card. The credit card...
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Never let your kids hold any of your gadgets in which they have apps or games in them attached to your credit cards or debit cards. No. Never let them hold those.
Info was given to him by his mother, who had requested her son's help to buy and download ebooks onto her tablet. After linking the credit card to his own iTunes...
Definitely, if you're going to do those, remove the microtransaction elements like payment methods. If you're going to let your kid hold those types of gadgets or anything that has payment methods attached to them, remove the payment methods immediately. If the kid is going to hold the gadgets for long periods of time, please practice those types of contingencies. Okay?
Account. He spent thousands of euros on gold in Game of War Fire Age over the course of a couple months. The boy's mother says that he claims not to have known that he was spending real money. Of course,
that's one thing also that we have to be careful of. If there are any tricks, if there are any visuals, if there are any options in which the child gets to actually spend for something like this, wow, this is surreal. This was surreal in 2014. Things right now in 2022, it may have been enforced in different countries in which you cannot easily do this unless there's permission from the bank. Those things have been enforced. Now, I don't know how things have been enforced in Asia, but I'm sure the same methods have been introduced so that you don't easily spend in microtransactions unless you're giving verification. Anyway, let's continue.
Of course, he's not going to admit to it. In-app purchases have become more and more of a problem in similar free-to-play games, which has led the European Commission to strongly recommend that apps built on this business model no longer call themselves free. Google's App Store has changed its policies to fall in line with the new rules. While Apple hasn't drawn a line in the sand yet to combat in-app purchases in free-to-play games, the company has intervened in the past when kids have made large in-app purchases. Now, before I give my take on the whole in-app purchases thing and what they need to do to stop this dumbass crap from happening, I know a lot of people are going to attack the mother for giving the kid the credit card information, but my mom with stuff like that, like she wanted to get ebooks, the mom probably didn't.
Hold on. So the mom actually gave the credit card information to the child because he needed ebooks? Hashtag parenting 101. Yeah, pretty much. No. Absolutely not. No.
Know how to do it, so she had her 15-year-old son, who was probably more tech savvy than her, do it. And she was thinking, all right, I'll give him the information, he'll get me the books I want, and then I'll be done. I've done stuff like that before for my mom, and there's never been issues when I was a kid. So yeah, okay, it was dumb of her to do, but I guess it's kind of like a case-per-case basis. You know, some kids can handle getting credit card information, others can't. If she just blindly gave it to him and said, yeah, you could just use it whenever you want to, then I would give her the Dumbass of the Year award. But this, it's a gray area. I could see people, you know, not agreeing with her doing that, and I could see people saying, hey, she was just trying to get some help from her son and he took advantage of it. So I don't know, I'm going to keep my hat out of the ring with that one. But going on to the whole in-app purchases thing, free-to-play people, companies who make free-to-play games, they have to have some kind of features in place that could stop people from doing this. Obviously, if someone's spending almost $50,000 over a period of time, maybe there's something wrong. Maybe their kid got a hold of the credit card. Maybe the person has a problem. Maybe the person somehow, because people, yes, are dumbasses, don't realize they're spending that much money. There should be something in play where the game could calculate, okay, this person's spending $500 a day on this game. Or maybe after like a week have like a notice come up saying you spent this much money on Fire Age, Game of War Fire Age.
There is actually usually a record. You know what I actually spend for microtransactions, but they're not so blatant right now. There is always a record as to what you're spending on. Thank you very much, Google, for actually recording those things at least. Definitely, those are safe options. But before, usually there's no record. I'm not sure when that has happened, but I think that has happened before, when mobile gaming isn't much of a thing yet. Anyway, let's continue.
Hey, do you actually want to do this, or have them, like, you know, give you a phone call, an automated phone call? Like, say when you sign up for the game, you have to put like your phone number in there. Not for solicitation purposes, but if something like this happens, the person who, you know, has that iTunes account will get a phone call saying, hey, you spent almost $47,000 on in-app purchases. Did you want to do that? Or even stop it at like $500 or even less than that and say, you just spent $300 yesterday on in-app purchases. Did you really want to do that? Are you doing that?
Well, to give credit where it's due, this is a 15-year-old kid. Not a young kid. Someone who's 15 years old. Someone who's more tech savvy. And someone who's more tech savvy. But are you sure you're going to entrust your kid? You're going to entrust your kid to spend things wisely? No. You got to do a little bit. You got to do a little better than that. I mean, if you show the sign of the time, you've got to know the signs in which the times call for more protection. You gotta protect yourself. Of course, I'm not going to give that much criticism to the mother, but I am going to say this. when it comes to protecting your own credit cards or credit cards of your loved ones, you gotta be honest with yourself. Do you trust others enough to handle payments like these very well? Well, apparently you cannot trust your own kid for that, so yeah. I suppose I cannot fault you, but of course you gotta discipline your child. So yeah, let's just continue.
Something has to be put in place to stop this crap from happening. You know, you can't do this case by case basis thing. There has to be some like automated system that prevents addicts or gaming addicts or young kids who just don't know any better from making their parents or making themselves go bankrupt. You know, I'm not saying dictate what they spend their money on, but obviously I'm sure that spending almost $47,000 on virtual gold isn't the best idea, and something should have been done to make that not even be able to happen to begin with. I'm just saying. All right, folks, this is Rich of Review Tech USA.
To be honest, incidences like this are ramping up when it comes to these. I mean, this is only in 2014, but back then it was not so good. Europe involved the European internet thing is definitely out of control. Microtransactions are happening everywhere. Mobile games, heck, Ubisoft, EA, loot boxes. Definitely, loot boxes are a thing. That's a term for microtransactions in EA and Ubisoft, unfortunately. And then there's this video. This 19-year-old spent over $10,000 on microtransactions. But this 15-year-old kid, spends more than $46,000 US. Less than over 30,000 euros. Like, wow, that really tops it. So I'm gonna check for more microtransactions on videos. Hey, this is the one this one is about Gran Turismo 7. Okay, I want to see other microtransactions. I've been browsing. I've been making sure that I sort by upload dates. The upload date can be for any time, but for days old, it's okay. I just want to check how the others are to the microtransaction these days. Just because of the Gran Turismo 7 incident that Sony has caused. Really, seriously, you don't need to spend cash just to avoid the grind in Gran Turismo 7. We have been grinding in Gran Turismo games for that long that it actually becomes a way of playing the game. I mean, I didn't have to spend for anything on Gran Turismo at all. Heck, Gran Turismo 5 I played on PS3 at some point because, well, it was finally given to me, the PS3, but I don't know where it is. I think I'm going to use the PS3 to repurpose it, probably for just streaming. I'm going to make sure that it gets repaired because its cooling system causes the components to crash. But anyway, that's for another day. That is for another day. I'm talking about Gran Turismo 7 and other types of games on consoles that do microtransactions in which people can get pissed off when it comes to payments. Gran Turismo is a game for grinding. Please, do not give others the incentive to spend just to avoid the grind. That is wrong. That's why I'm glad that they finally took action in which rewards are given more emphasis at least. Finally that happened. Anyway. What's the title? What are the titles over here? Gran Turismo 7 lied about microtransactions. Well, that's correct because reviewers didn't have any access to any options that relate to microtransactions. If I'm right, you can just check it. Leave a comment if that's not the case. But let's see. Gran Turismo 7 microtransactions. Oh, this is a sarcasm. Okay, sarcastic title. This is a sarcastic title right here. I want to see this.
Gran Turismo 7 came out recently and well, it is to say the very least, dog shit. There is sadly no other way to describe the game at the moment, and probably ever. If you are still a GT fan, then just play GT Sport. Gran Turismo 7 is an absolutely terrible game all round. From Microtransactions.
I knew the title was sarcastic. Gran Turismo 7 microtransactions are good for gaming. Okay, I'm gonna sub to Mischief just because of the sarcastic title. Let's continue because I want to hear him. I want to hear his voice more.
Transactions are at the least seeing a 700% increase in price, with some of the highest prices seeing an increase of 1,233% increase in price. To put it into perspective how egregious these prices are, a single car in the game can cost you 160 Great British pounds.
The reason why Sony and Polyphony Digital had to fix the payouts in Gran Turismo 7 online in the first place. This is why this is a problem. This is why the microtransactions are going to be a big problem. To avoid the grind, you have to spend so much cash. Yeah. You know that it is bad. Let's continue.
That's not even me translating it into dollars yet, which I'd hate to see how expensive it is. This all on top of the game, which is predominantly single player, being always online, leading to a patch making the game unplayable for 30 hours straight, and in the exact same patch the developers actually made it harder to earn in-game credits, making it virtually impossible to earn some of the cars in game, as some cars can take over 600 matches to complete in very specific races with very specific win requirements. Oh, and the physics plus graphics during gameplay honestly just suck. GT Sport is a much better game, which creates an even larger problem when you consider the fact that devs are still defending the microtransactions.
The game, according to the reviewers, Gran Turismo 7 is an awesome game if you're going to use it for racing and other types. The physics have been well improved from GT Sport. I have to disagree on Mischief for this one. GT Sport has its own realisms, but it has been exaggerated, but proven more on Gran Turismo 7. I gotta give Polyphony Digital and Sony credit where it's due. Gran Turismo 7 is is much better of a racing game than GT Sport, but you've got to ask yourself whether the normal consumer is spending the right way here. So I am going to say it is going to be uneven. It is going to be, it's a variable usually for every person. Let's continue.
By saying they wish for the car prices in game to reflect real world pricing. Now how the fuck they thought that would go down well with players is beyond me.
Yeah, pretty much. That is another thing I'm looking forward. That's another thing that I want them to explain. But of course, Sony and Polyphony Digital apologized. If you guys know about the updates of Gran Turismo 7 yet.
Fuck is you're charging £160 for a 5-year-old car in game. That is not only more than the actual game itself, but also a model of a car from around 2017. Now after hearing all of those obvious issues with GT7, you're probably wondering how on earth anyone could defend this trash. Well, somehow there is a significant amount of people defending it on Twitter and some people defending it on YouTube. And today we'll be looking at one of those videos, so without further delay, I'll let my video play.
Personally, like I said, that was unbelievable, dude. Oh my goodness. I'm such a beast, dude.
You killed 2 people. Not quite sure that is warranted of being called a beast. Not as if that sounds cool in the first place when you call yourself one. Also, what the fuck does this have to do with Gran Turismo 7?
Hey internet, yours truly. So Gran Turismo 7 is officially out, and everyone's been asking me what do I think about this controversy about microtransactions in GT7, as well as what do I think about Gran Turismo 7 up against Forza Horizon 5.
I think we can all agree, even if you're a PlayStation user, in terms of racing games right now, Forza Horizon 5 is miles above Gran Turismo 7, even though they are technically different styles of racing games. The comparison between the two in the first place isn't the most intelligent one, but also just shows how bad of a title GT7 actually is.
To be very, very honest, the reason why I am turning my head away from the Gran Turismo franchise is because of the incident of the microtransactions being so bad in Gran Turismo 7. I'm sticking around in Gran Turismo 7 in the hopes that there are going to be immediate changes to the immense backlash that the fanatics in Gran Turismo 7 and the hardcore fans are saying and criticizing GT7 of. And those are very valid criticisms. But I am saying it, and I am saying it again. Gran Turismo, the franchise, the gaming system, it has always been about the grind. It was never about the microtransactions as the base and as the base purpose of the game. It was never about spending real world cash. It was never about spending in real life currency just to get the cars. It was all about the grind. It was all about getting the achievements while in game. That has always been the core principle of Gran Turismo ever since. But for them to be branching away to actually spend microtransactions just to avoid the grind and to get past the timed contracts, the time contract thing that GT7 had put out just to get an opportunity to buy the cars that you like, is a blow to the entire franchise as a whole. Fine, they're actually patching up the game and trying to do what's right for the economy, but putting microtransactions that blatant in the first place is a definite no-no to me. Even if they are doing something good about trying to pander to the consumers, it is already way too late. Gran Turismo 7 is a live service, and we already hate it for being a live service in the first place. And they launched it as a live service as well. So definitely will not be playing Gran Turismo 7, unfortunately. The end of the road for me on Gran Turismo would be up to GT Sport and Gran Turismo 6. That is it. They're the ones considered canon. They're the ones considered okay in my book. Because you don't need to spend in real life cash. You only need to spend just for the game. That's it. That's the only thing that matters to me in Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo 7 is nothing to me. Unfortunately, I am saying it. Gran Turismo 7 is nothing to me.
Yes, go look at gameplay of Forza Horizon 5 and you'll see the stark contrast between the two. One is in full to the brim of ludicrously overpriced microtransactions and plays 1,000 times better whilst looking better.
Now let's get something straight. We're gonna get the Forza comparison out of the way first. Gran Turismo is about quality. Sony in general is about quality.
Mischief, you're a little too annoying to me, but I sub to you, so I'm gonna have to stop watching this video. It's pretty much getting a little annoying, but I really like the content, so I'm just gonna give this a thumbs up right here, and then I'm just going to move on to try and see if there are any other microtransactions around. I mean, videos about microtransactions. Review Tech USA has a good video at least. Mischief has a good video in which, well, you see cringe stuff, but it's actually for a good purpose, actually. Okay, so there's essays in which, okay, reasons why microtransactions lie to you. Okay, that's good. Final Fantasy 14 updates of 21. Okay. Final Fantasy 14 is definitely a thing. It's still a thing because it's online. Yeah, fine. Okay. But I don't play my Final Fantasy 14. Should I play Final Fantasy 14 as a thing? Nah, I'm okay. So, when games ruin themselves with microtransactions, I am boycotting Gran Turismo 7. Remove microtransactions and always online. Well, you see, if microtransactions cannot be removed, at least remove the always online thing. I mean, seriously, that's already bad enough that you cannot actually you cannot collect the cars. At least if you collect the cars, make them available offline. But in the first place, it should not be always online. But if they do remove the always online thing, that would remove the game from being the live service game that it should always be. But maybe it is for the better. Remove the live service status from Gran Turismo 7. Completely just make the Gran Turismo experience so much better without it being online, and maybe it can be marketable to the usual audience, the casual audiences. The casual audiences for this, for the franchise, they don't like to even buy this game. The hardcore fans, maybe, but they are also giving harsh criticism just because of the bad microtransaction things that are happening in Gran Turismo 7. The casuals don't want to buy always online. The usual fan doesn't want to buy Gran Turismo 7 because of the things that are happening here. If they hear the news around the internet, of course, that's how it is. MTX are okay. Oh, really? Thank you for the title. We need to see more sarcastic titles. The Gran Turismo 7 microtransactions are good for gaming. This type of sarcastic title. We need to see more titles like this. Gran Turismo 7's deceptive microtransactions are making reviewers very angry. Another video from Review Tech USA. Rich has been ramping up when it comes to these types of reports. Thank you very much, Rich. Oh wow. Solutions to the problem. Login bonus 150%. Okay. Yeah, pretty much everyone. Hogwarts Legacy, one game that's also coming out, also has microtransactions. All they just have to do is appeal to the fans, try to find a center in gaming, and maybe the fans will be happy with you, the gamers will be happy with you, and they won't give you that much of a trouble. I mean, that follows with every AAA company as well. That actually gives, well, if not a single player experience, then an online experience. Try to find a center. All they have to do is try to find a center, and it will be okay. But it's hard for AAA companies who try to profit a lot to actually do that. But anyways, that's just me. That's just me very much giving my opinions on microtransactions. In general, and if they are definitely blatant, it is very bad. But if it's for exchange of quality, the result of the emotional result that comes from a fan will vary, as long as there is incentive for them to play the game, while you're also able to give back to the fans as well. So you don't want to upset the fans too much, or else they will leave the game and tell other casuals to stay away from your games. If you're a developer, of course, if you're especially an indie developer, you got to find a center. You got to find a center to the issues that you like. Fine, you can put some microtransactions, but don't, unless you are a live service or a completely online game or a multiplayer game. Do not just deny players the chance to see how it works offline and how they can actually grind, because most players who are patient with the bigger games on console have the patience to grind. So give them a chance to. Don't just make them spend. Don't just make them spend. Don't just make them log in forcefully just to make progress. I mean, they can do it with their own pace. Get players to play on their own pace. That's it. I mean, that's how players are supposed to work. That's how players are supposed to work, especially if they're online. If they're online, of course. Yeah, pretty much. Make them play on their own pace. Don't make them buy. Don't make them buy too much cosmetics and too many play to win items. Right there, those things, definitely no-nos. So make them just play on their own pace, and you can make a game fun. I mean, at these troubled times, it's not always like that. And they're just willing to just get cash, take it all, without even listening to the facts. That's all. But anyways, that's just me. That's just me as a gamer and a usual guy. I'll leave it to you guys down in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to more future content. Hit the notification bell to get notified of my uploads. And definitely thank you guys for watching this. I will see you guys on the next EliteLenny Reacts video. This is me, EliteLenny, signing off. Peace out and cheers.